What's up, it's your boy NT Migs back again with another video, and today we're going to be doing the round 10 NRL match predictions. Now, I'm filming this in selfie mode. I don't know if you just heard that, but my computer's clicking. So, and what I've got open are 10 tabs. Those being the match center for all 8 of the NRL fixtures this week and the stats and everything going into them. So that way I can give you the most in-depth stuff I have access to actually back up what I'm saying. So yeah, it's not a complete guess off the whim, me change my mind. Excuse me. So the first match we're going to be looking at is the Melbourne Storm versus the West Tigers at Amy Park. So now Storm are going into these pretty clear favourites. They're coming off a massive 64-10 victory versus the Parramatta Eels, and they're in brilliant form. You know, after that loss that they suffered, and I'm sure Craig Bellamy will not let these lot let up. Now, if we look at the previous meetings in this season, if we look at the last couple of games that these guys have played, the West Tigers have actually had the better of the Melbourne Storm. I believe 17th of March was a pre-season where the Tigers won 10-8, and 7th of April, the West Tigers won against Melbourne by a field goal in 28. Oh, they're not their last year's matches. So Tigers did a double over them last season. That's impressive. Now both of these teams' form guides have been 3 wins and 2 losses in the last 5. So they're going into it with pretty similar form. But if we're being honest, it really should be all down to Melbourne to win this match, because you just look at squad ability. They're better in an attacking sense. They're better in a defensive sense. They've won 7 out of 9. The Tigers have won 5 out of 9. And everything's just, down to their play the balls and, even the things like that. The Storm just haven't beat in just about every aspect. And look, I'm not trying to write off the Tigers here. I respect them. I think they're a good team, but like Melbourne, really? How do you go against Melbourne Storm in this scenario? Obviously, you've got Benji Marshall in the side. I mean, look, doesn't really matter at this point. I'm waffling. It's avoiding the obvious. Melbourne Storm should get a pretty strong win. You do have a feeling that I think the Tigers, will give them a bit of a challenge, but really should be Melbourne. I'm going to go Melbourne 32 to the Tigers 10. I think that Melbourne do need to make a statement and they'll have a big win. The next match is going to be the Penrith Panthers versus the New Zealand Warriors at Panther Stadium. So now, if we look into the team stats here, in terms of the team's form guides, I mean, Panthers are just on a 5-match losing streak, whereas Warriors aren't in the best of form either, but they are coming off a 26-18 victory against the St. George Dragons. In terms of their last meetings, each team's won their home games, so one each. Warriors seem to have the better all-round stats in terms of scoring and conceding points. They have a better average completion rate this season. But what does favour Penrith is the home ground advantage. And look, I mean, Penrith's squad has ability, so don't expect them to not make it easy. But the Warriors are coming off their first win of the season as well, away from Mount Smart, which is also a big thing. So I think that that'll give them a bit of confidence, and maybe they can go 2 in a row here. I'm going to go the Warriors 26, Panthers 18. Let's go with the same score as they won by last week. I think that's reasonable enough. Match number 3 is the Brisbane Broncos at Suncorp Stadium welcoming the Sydney Roosters. I mean, going into this game, Brisbane Broncos clear favourites. I mean, come on, look at that squad. They're in such good form. I mean, what am I talking about? Let's be real, fam. What am I talking about? I mean, like, laugh about it all you want. The Roosters are the clear favourites. They've won their last 5 matches. The Broncos have won 2 out of their last 5. You know, Roosters have been much better than them all over the park. I mean, really, the only real thing about Roosters is their completion rates, but I mean, there's not really much else to suggest that the Brisbane Broncos have it in them to win, really. I mean, I suppose the fact that they won last week is a big thing, but that was against a depleted Manly team. I mean, come on. You really do have to go the Roosters' way here. I'm going to say, but Brisbane could put in a decent performance here, but it really sits the way of the Roosters. I'm going to go the Roosters 32, Brisbane 14. Let's see if that comes true. Gold Coast Titans versus the Canterbury Bulldogs. Bottom of the table clash, 14th versus 16th. Well, let's look at the stats here in terms of the form. There seems to be a problem with these teams at home. They don't know how to win at home. As the away team has won both times in their last set of fixtures. In terms of the form guides, the Titans have won 2 of their last 5, but are currently on a 3-match losing streak. Bulldogs have won 1 of the last 5 and are currently on a 2-match losing streak. Both teams are same in terms of their win-loss ratios. The Titans are looking the better attacking team, whereas the Bulldogs are looking the better defensive team. In terms of completion rates, the Bulldogs are slightly better in that facet. In terms of the... let's have a look here. In terms of the team list, Bulldogs have actually named Kieran Foran, which would be pretty big. Obviously, Napa as well. So, decent names in that Dogs team. For the Titans, you've got Tyrone Roberts coming back in as well, which would be big. I actually think that the Titans at home, and I'm going to check the ladder just to see their home record versus their away record. Yeah, they've only won 1 of each, so it doesn't really matter an awful lot. I'm going to go... This game could be pretty close. Something... I don't know. You know what? I'll go the Dogs, 16. The Titans, 12. Yeah, I'll give the Dogs a win here. Why not? Yeah, let's go with a Canterbury win. Okay, next match is the Cowboys versus the Eels. Now, depending on how you look at this match, I don't want to do that on camera. You could say Parramatta are the favourites because of squad ability and blah, 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 blah. You say North Queensland, they've got a good chance of winning because of the players they got back in. This game ought to be pretty close. It's hard to separate the two teams, I think. Cowboys are down low on the ladder, but their form has been picking up as of late. And Parramatta, they're coming off a battering against Melbourne. An absolute battering. And, you know... And they've got Michael Jennings and Mike Acevo both out. I don't know why I'm doing this on camera, but this thing's absolutely pissing me off. Parramatta's win ratio has been a lot better. Their attack and defense has been superior overall this season to the Cowboys, but Parramatta's completion rate has been poor. The play the ball speed in comparison to the Cowboys, not great. So just little things like that, and I think that off the back of Jason Taumalolo coming back into the side, you know, as he has been for the last week or two, Cowboys could be a seriously lethal outfit. It's going to be tough for Parramatta, especially given it's a Cowboys home game. But, you know what? I'm not doing this out of bias, but reportedly, I'm not sure if this is confirmed, but Gutherson may have re-signed with Parramatta recently. So I think that if that is the case, there'll be a massive boost among the fans and hopefully the players as well. It'll be, really good for that. And so is Brad Arthur. He's also re-signed. So hopefully that just gives the team some morale boost going into the match. And I think that off the back of that, Parramatta could have a pretty big performance coming in. I'm going to go Parramatta. God, this is hard. I do want to check one more thing because I know our form's been a bit sus at 1,300 miles. Wins at this venue, 5 out of 16. Jesus Christ, I'll have to rethink my prediction maybe. Parramatta. You know what? I'm actually going to go Cowboys 26, Parramatta 16. I'm going with the Cowboys win. Now, next match we got, this is match number 6 of the round, is the Canberra Raiders versus the South Sydney Rabbitohs. Now, most of the teams have actually made a few changes in the lineup. There's no Alex Johnston in at fullback for Rabbitohs. They've gone instead with Corey Allen. Apart from that, I haven't spotted anything massively big with the lineups. No Joey Langua, Jordan Rapana for Raiders. But in terms of the actual match and how I see it going, based on the fact that Raiders are at home, I really think they could put in a big performance here. Rabbitohs have been good these last couple of weeks as well, but I just think Raiders at home are kind of like a Storm side. They know how to grind out a win. They will just be in the fight. Their forwards are going to be tough, and they do have a solid, way of playing football off the back of the likes of Josh Hodgson, Caesar, Jack Wyden. I like the spine, so I do think that the Raiders could actually sneak away with a win here. I'm going to go 16-10 to the Canberra Raiders. Next match is the St. George Illawarra Dragons up against the Newcastle Knights. Now, Dragons' main advantage in this match is that they're at home. And over the last two meetings, which are the 7th of April this year and from September last year, the Dragons have actually shown good form. But in the actual context of the season, Dragons form, they're on a 3-match losing streak. And their last 2 matches weren't the best, losing to Parramatta 32-18 and losing to Warriors 26-18, just slipping in the second half, which has been the cause. Whereas the Newcastle Knights are on a 3-match winning streak. They're going to be in very good form. And the injuries that the Dragons have suffered, I think, could play dividends in this match. I doubt anyone's back. But just to make sure, and so I don't look like an idiot, Dryfield, Ben Hunt. So yeah, there's no Corey Norman. There's no Gareth Widdop here. Yeah, they don't go anywhere near returning. No ins and outs. So, in terms of how I see this, I actually think Newcastle are going to win. I'm going to go with Newcastle 24 to the Dragons 14. Great. And finally, this is the last match. We got the Cronulla Sharks up at PointsBet Stadium welcoming the Manly Sea Eagles. So, in terms of the teams, Manly are losing Moses Suli, Abbas Miski, and Tuafoto Sipley. I don't know who he is. But, yeah, Moses Suli could be a pretty big miss for them. In terms of the Sharks, there's no outs. They do actually welcome back Scott Sorensen and Sione Katoa, which I think will be pretty good additions. But yeah, they're both reserves. Damn it. I could Cade Cast. I don't know who this guy is. But I think, and looking at the stats and the form guides, forget the form guides. The thing is, I noticed with Manly as opposed to Cronulla is the injuries that they've suffered. They're coming off a loss to Brisbane. Sharks are on a 2-match winning streak when you actually look at the form. So I think that Manly will probably put up a decent fight, but I think that Sharks will outgrind them in this match and that they will just get a win. I'm going to go Cronulla 22 to Manly 18. So, yep, that's my my predictions for this round. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure to leave a like on the video. Drop anything in the comments. Drop your predictions in the comments. Make sure you subscribe to the channel, and yeah, I'll be catching you next round. Also, actually, before I go, let me know if you like me filming in selfie mode and I just go off what I see, like have up a bunch of stats that I'm looking at, or do you want the stats on screen? Yeah, just let us know what's your preference in terms of how I record these videos. So thank you guys.